Cowboys Nation, let's talk about something that could completely change the face of this Dallas defense. Something that could take this struggling secondary and give it the shutdown energy we've been missing all year long. Reports are heating up, and the Dallas Cowboys are now being linked to ball-hawk cornerback Riq Woolen, one of the most explosive and instinctive defensive backs in the NFL. And honestly, it makes perfect sense, because through 6 games this season, the numbers don't lie. This Cowboys secondary has been leaking yards like a broken dam. Over 1,617 passing yards allowed, the worst in the NFL. Quarterbacks are finding wide-open targets across the middle, deep down the sidelines, you name it. Every fan watching can feel it. The coverage looks hesitant, the communication has been off, and the confidence is gone. Defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus said this week that nothing is off the table. That's coach speak for, we're running out of patience. The team's been experimenting with more man coverage, but even that's not fixing the underlying problem. The Cowboys desperately need someone who can play the ball, someone who can bring back that swagger to the defensive backfield. For those who might have forgotten, Woolen burst onto the scene in 2022 as a rookie with the Seattle Seahawks. That year, he tied for the NFL lead in interceptions, 6 picks, and earned a Pro Bowl nod in his very first season. He's 6'4", long, athletic, and has that rare mix of speed and vertical reach that lets him erase passing lanes most corners can't even dream of. This guy doesn't just cover receivers, he suffocates passing windows. And now, according to multiple reports, including Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox, Woolen could be on the trade block. Seattle has a stacked secondary, Woolen's contract is expiring, and the Seahawks might be open to moving him before the deadline to get something rather than lose him for nothing. Now let's talk about why this matters for Dallas, because this isn't just another rumor. This is a move that could change everything. When you look at this Cowboys defense, the biggest issue isn't effort, it's execution. The pass rush, led by guys like Kenny Clark and Osa Odighizuwa, is getting there, but when quarterbacks can throw quick and clean to open receivers, sacks don't happen. A great secondary feeds the front 7, and right now that synergy is missing. Woolen fixes that. He's not just a flashy pick machine, he's a disciplined technician. He knows how to use his size to close off deep throws, and his instincts are next level. Think about it. Quarterbacks used to test him in 2022, and by mid-season, they just stopped. That's what the Cowboys need. They don't just need a cornerback, they need a deterrent. Now the million-dollar question, can Dallas afford him? That's where things get interesting. Bleacher Report says Seattle would probably take a 3rd-round pick to move Woolen. Sounds fair, right? Except Dallas already traded their 2026 3rd-rounder in the George Pickens deal. And there's no way Seattle waits until 2027 for compensation when other teams are offering 2026 picks now. A 2nd-round pick feels steep, but a 4th might not get it done. But here's the thing. You can't put a price tag on fixing your biggest weakness. The Cowboys are in a window right now. Dak Prescott is playing elite football. George Pickens is emerging as one of the top wide receivers in the NFC. Brian Schottenheimer's offense is clicking. The NFC East is wide open. You fix the defense, and suddenly, this team isn't scraping for wins, they're dictating games again. So what's stopping Jerry Jones from making that call? The truth is, nothing should, because this move makes football sense, locker room sense, and emotional sense. You add a young, hungry defensive back like Riq Woolen, and you inject fire into this defense. Woolen would immediately slot in opposite Deron Bland, giving the Cowboys one of the tallest, rangiest cornerback duos in the NFL. And once CeeDee Lamb and Kevontae Turpin return on offense, the balance of this roster could finally tilt back toward dominance. And you know what else this trade would do? It would send a message. It would tell every player in that locker room that management isn't sitting back waiting for the season to fix itself. It would say, we're not done, we're not folding, we're fighting. This is about leadership. It's about setting a tone that mediocrity is not acceptable in Dallas. This fan base has been through too many almost seasons, too many moments where talent got wasted because the front office didn't act fast enough. But this is the time to act. Because if you're being real, Cowboys Nation, this offense deserves a defense that can keep pace. Dak Prescott is out there delivering top-tier numbers every single week, even in losses. The chemistry with Pickens is electric, the line is protecting, the run game with Javonte Williams is alive. Everything is clicking except the one unit that was supposed to define this team. Now, imagine a world where Dallas adds Riq Woolen, a proven turnover machine, a corner who can shadow WR1s, a player who doesn't just react, but anticipates. You suddenly take this defense from vulnerable to dangerous. Quarterbacks won't test deep as often, safeties can cheat up, and linebackers can play more aggressively knowing there's coverage behind them. That's how you change the identity of a football team. If you've been watching closely, this defense doesn't need a complete overhaul. It needs one spark, one leader in the secondary who brings confidence back. And Woolen, despite his young age, has already proven he can be that guy. So Cowboys Nation, what do you think? Should Jerry Jones pick up the phone and make this deal happen before the deadline? Should Dallas go all in and bring Riq Woolen to the star to fix what's been holding them back? Because I'm telling you, this move could be the one that saves the season. Drop your thoughts below. Smash that like button if you believe it's time for Dallas to act. Subscribe to Dallas Game Day for more reactions, rumors, and raw emotion from the heart of Cowboys Nation. Because this story is only getting started, and if Riq Woolen ends up wearing the star, you can bet the entire NFC is going to take notice. The Cowboys have the firepower. Now it's time to bring back the fear.